Soup diet, vinegar diet, Hollywood secret diet, low-carb diet, the list goes on. Sadly, these diet fads perpetuate many of the most common myths surrounding nutrition and losing weight. Over time, these myths have become deeply rooted in the consciousness of Americans, especially for those who are desperately grasping for truths about nutrition. In fact, I'd bet it's safe to say you and I were taught long ago the supposed right way and wrong way to lose weight. Unfortunately, most of these truths are, in fact, dead wrong. Usually, these myths were based on some haphazard, outdated approach, passed on from generation to generation, leaving little to no room for dispute. And while a few of them may work over the short term, the majority of them hardly ever work over the long term. And worse, most of them are not a healthy approach to weight loss. Today, modern science has, thankfully, uncovered some of the most destructive myths surrounding nutrition and losing weight. Here are the 5 most easily avoidable yet highly destructive myths for how to positively affect the metabolism with food and boost your body's ability to burn fat. Myth: you should restrict calories when you want to drop pounds. Fact: you must eat smart, not less, if you want to lose weight. Contrary to common belief, if you severely restrict your food intake, your body quickly panics and goes into a fat protection survival mode. As a result, your metabolism slows and you start using muscle as fuel. Muscle actually burns fat, so we don't want to lose this precious tissue, and restricting your food intake too much will leave you feeling irritable, hungry, and grouchy. Surely we've all been there before. And because your body is in survival mode, very powerful signals are sent from your brain, telling you to eat, eat, eat. Why? Because it thinks it's starving, and it doesn't know when it will get food again. If you want long-term weight loss, you must carefully choose the type of foods you eat. Realistically, you can expect to hold off your uncontrollable urges for only so long before you give in. And voila, instant weight return, plus some bonus body fat for your efforts. Unfortunately, millions of people every year resolve to lose fat by severely restricting their daily food intake. My hunch is that's one reason Americans are, in general, in worse shape now than ever before. And a new study, found in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, confirmed, once again, that restricting calories will decrease your metabolism and only prevent you from losing body fat. Myth: it isn't necessary to pay attention to the type of calories you consume to lose weight. Fact: if you want long-term weight loss, you must carefully choose the type of foods you eat. Whenever you're considering the types of food to eat, remember this: all calories are not created equal. Fat requires only 2% of your body's energy to use it up, carbohydrates require roughly 10% energy to burn them, whereas protein requires an astonishing 20% of your body's energy to use it. Thus, by consuming more protein, you're actually revving up your metabolism. Research shows that right around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is adequate, and safe, for enhancing your body's metabolic rate. Research shows that right around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is adequate, and safe, for enhancing your body's metabolic rate as well as helping your body maintain fat-burning muscle tone. Consuming around 40% of your daily calories in the form of quality proteins is adequate for recovering from workouts and keeping healthy muscle tone. It's easy to see why the common adage, fat is more fattening than carbohydrates or protein, came into being. So it's smart to take in no more than 20% dietary fat any given day whenever you're attempting to lose fat. These fats will likely occur naturally in most whole food proteins, so don't worry about adding any extra fat. So finally, carbohydrates should be consumed in the range of no more than 40% of your daily intake, avoiding simple carbs and completely eliminating the refined, sugary types of carbs and incorporating plenty of fibrous types of carbs. In fact, new scientific evidence from the American Journal of Epidemiology has shown that when consuming too many carbs, especially simple sugar carbs at one sitting, your body responds by stimulating a surge of insulin to be released. Why do you want to avoid this? Because insulin is a hormone that encourages fat stores to become larger, more easily, transporting fat to be stored and sealing the fat stores shut, preventing fat cells from breaking down. Fortunately, adding more protein to each meal in your diet buffers this insulin secretion by slowing the rate of absorption of carbohydrates. And the addition of dietary protein also kicks up another hormone called glucagon, insulin's opposing hormone, which can offset the fat-storing ability of insulin by dragging it down and helping dispose of it before it stores more fat. A new study in the European Journal of Nutrition offers evidence that glucagon's release in the body as a result of increased protein consumption may further stimulate fat burning by encouraging fat to be liberated and used more easily. Kristen Leventis has learned how to positively affect her metabolism with food and boost her body's ability to burn fat by avoiding the pitfalls of common dieting practices. Myth: I don't need extra protein to help my body lose weight. Fact: any person who exercises and wishes to lose weight must have more protein in their diets. If you tell the average nutritionist you consume plenty of protein-rich foods because you're attempting to lose weight or because you train with weights, you'll often hear, "Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't need that much," and it may even lead to kidney disease. Unfortunately, as in any industry, nutritionists are susceptible to ingrained teachings, even if they've now been shown to be false or misleading. In this particular case, there isn't a single decent study that indicates that healthy adults should not consume a protein-rich diet, especially if they are involved in regular exercise and are trying to drop extra body fat. New research confirms that those performing any type of weight training require a greater amount of protein than sedentary individuals. What causes concern for most people is this amount is above the current Canadian and US recommended daily protein intake requirements for healthy adults. However, from extensive research, one of the top researchers in the nutritional field, Dr. Peter Lemon states, data suggests that the RDA for those engaged in regular endurance exercise should be about 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body mass. That's 150% to 175% of the current recommended daily allowance. Other well-noted researchers and leaders in the field of nutrition have come to similar conclusions repeatedly over the years. They've found that persons engaged in physical activities, yet merely adhering to the RDA standards for protein requirements, were actually losing precious muscle tissue as they worked out, simply because their bodies did not have enough protein readily available to repair and rebuild their muscles after a workout. Plus, it's been shown that those who consume increased amounts of protein, even higher than the RDA recommendation, have denser bones than people who ate less. From the scientific evidence alone, it is clear that people engaged in regular exercise and who want to lose weight require greater than the RDA in protein to get optimal results. Myth: to lose weight, I can just cut down on the number of meals I eat each day. Fact: eating 5 to 6 evenly spaced meals per day provides the body everything it needs to starve and reduce body fat. Rather than running around with your calorie counter book, you must instead pay attention to the types of food you eat, the respective proportions of each type, and how often you eat. I like to call this meal patterning. As indicated in a recent study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, by spreading your meals more evenly throughout the day, in 5 or 6 smaller meals, rather than 2 or 3 large meals, or an overindulgence in snacks whenever you're hungry, you can maximize the absorption of nutrients so your body can use more of the food you eat, and supply your body with more stable, non-spiking, levels of insulin levels your body can adequately manage to keep your body from storing and trapping fat and steadily increase your metabolism throughout the day. So, never go more than a few hours while you're awake without eating a balanced, high-quality, carbohydrate-rich, low-fat meal. Myth: all calories are created equal, so to lose weight, all I need to do is reduce the number of calories I eat every day. Fact: you must focus on the types of calories you put into your body, in addition to the number of calories you consume. Sadly, many nutritionists today continue to preach the outdated theory that all calories are created equal. Sadly, many nutritionists today continue to preach the outdated theory that all calories are created equal. Thankfully, for those of us who pay careful attention to the most recent scientific findings, as well as carefully watch what's going on in the real world, this old-school theory is being replaced by the newer, more accurate theory about calories when it comes to gaining or losing weight. Before today, you too may have thought that weight loss or weight gain was strictly a matter of calories in versus calories out. In other words, if you burn more calories than you consume, you would in effect lose weight regardless of the calorie source. Conversely, if you were to consume more calories than you burn off each day, you would then gain weight again, regardless of the calorie source. The truth is, however, the calories in versus calories out philosophy fails to take into account modern research that finds that proteins, carbohydrates, and fats have very different physiological effects on the body's metabolism through countless pathways. For instance, hormones such as insulin and glucagons, as well as thermic effects, the way the body internally regulates heat production, and literally thousands of other effects foods have on the body are all uniquely caused by different macronutrients. As I will point out, in the next section of my plan, not only is the mantra all calories are created equal proven to be false, protein is protein, and all fats are created equal is also incorrect. For example, we now know different fats, such as healthy omega fish oils versus unhealthy saturated fats, have vastly different effects on the body's metabolism and overall health. We also now know that different carbohydrate sources have their own unique effects on the body's ability to use, or store, fat, such as high glycemic index carbohydrates versus low glycemic index foods. And surprisingly, we now know that different proteins can have unique effects in the body too. So, as my friend, William Brink, a Harvard graduate, with a concentration in the natural sciences, an academic researcher, has so eloquently pointed out in his Unified Theory of Nutrition, while the total calorie intake does in fact dictate how much weight a person gains or loses, the macronutrient ratios or proteins, carbohydrates, and fats ultimately dictate what type of weight a person gains or loses. Make no mistake about it, this seemingly simple statement will allow you to better understand the differences between the old theory of calories and the new theory of macronutrients. And the reason we know this to be true is because of recent studies, which have concluded that two groups of people who are put on the same number of calories per day but given different ratios of protein, carbohydrates, and fats will lose different amounts of body fat and/or lean body mass. Other evidence shows that even though people on these diets may lose the same amount of weight, one group loses more body fat and retains more muscle tissue than the other group, which loses only weight, which could be comprised mostly of water and muscle mass and very little fat weight. It is for these reasons, in addition to the number of calories I consume, I pay careful attention to the types of foods I put into my body and, most importantly, the ratio of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats I consume them in. Putting this truth into practice, my daily eating patterns consist of balancing my meals, repeated 5 to 6 times throughout the day, such that the macronutrient ratio of foods found on my plate are somewhere near 40% high-quality proteins, 40% energy-rich, low glycemic carbohydrates, and no more than 20% naturally occurring fats. You simply can't go wrong with a sound, intelligent, science-based plan like this for eating. At only 33 years old, Stephen Adele has been helping individuals from all walks of life create measurable results in their physiques and performance over the last 15 years and has rapidly become a respected authority. He has published numerous articles for magazines around the world, been quoted in several trade publications, appeared on radio shows, conducted seminars around the globe, and is the CEO of the prestigious supplement manufacturer, Isotori Technologies. Stephen now also shares his insights, expertise, and inside connections in two of the fastest-growing publications in the industry, Real Solutions email newsletter and Real Solutions magazine, and has recently co-authored the Consumer's Guide 7 Never-Before-Told Secrets Everyone Should Know Before Buying Supplements. It's never become more apparent than in the 21st century that the earth is saturated with poisons. It's nearly impossible to avoid them, despite our best attempts. The media, coupled with the all-knowing experts, advise us to steer clear of pesticides, household cleaners, processed foods, food additives, preservatives, and gas-guzzling sport utility vehicles. If it were up to them, we would all be living in the mountains of Montana, growing our own food, drinking aquifer-supplied water, and driving a hybrid car or riding a horse. While this might be an ideal way to live, unfortunately for you and me, it's likely not possible. That's why it's even more important to build up and support our immune systems and make healthy choices when it comes to what we eat, what types of foods we choose to have in our homes, and which foods we provide for our children. I don't want to sound paranoid. And my desire is not to make you eliminate all of the things that are a part of our everyday lives. I will, however, offer you the following scientific evidence and guidelines for avoiding what I believe to be the most toxic substances to our bodies, which drain our energy. Sugar and hydrogenated fats. These two toxins, which are consumed by the billions of tons each year, literally drain our mental and physical energy and infect us like a poison. Here's a brief explanation of each and how they negatively affect us. Sugar makes you irritable, hyperactive, and causes premature aging. Sugar is the most consumed substance on the planet. Whether it's in the form of fructose, sucrose, dextrose, corn syrup, maltodextrin, or confectionery sugar, this poison negatively affects our mood and behavior. It makes us want more and leaves us cranky when we don't have it. Scientific evidence has shown that sugar, in any form, depletes essential B vitamins and lowers your body's resistance to bacteria, viruses, and yeasts. Sugar makes you irritable, hyperactive, and causes premature aging through a process called glycosylation, pronounced glycosylation. And to no surprise, sugar is the #1 culprit to adult-onset type 2 diabetes, which is typically self-induced as a result of a life laden with sugar. At this point, the body is no longer capable of disposing of insulin properly, which becomes a serious risk factor for heart disease. The insulin roller coaster ride: when you eat sugar, it enters your bloodstream all at once, instead of slowly as it would as part of a whole food, naturally occurring meal. Insulin is then immediately secreted and shuttles the sugar away into cells within muscle or adipose tissue, fat. Now that there is not enough sugar in your bloodstream, your brain senses that you are in a time of famine and sends a message to the adrenal glands to release adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline releases energy from sugar stored in your liver and muscles, and cortisol begins to break down your own muscle mass into sugar, like I shared earlier. This sequence of events is called the insulin to adrenaline to cortisol cycle. It's a vicious roller coaster ride for your body, and the worst part is that afterwards, it leaves you feeling lethargic, cranky, and surprisingly, craving even more refined, sugary foods. Thus, the cycle starts over again. As you can see, it's a downward spiral to poor health and even poorer energy levels. Hydrogenated fats: we have heard it said that we eat too much fat and that fat consumption has risen in the last 20 years, and we are becoming an increasingly obese nation. While the later of these statements is true, statistics have since proven the former is false. See, fat consumption has not changed. What has changed is the type of fats people eat. Today, more and more people are getting the majority of their fats from man-made, hydrogenated fats and other harmful polyunsaturated oils such as palm and corn oil. As long as 20, 30, or 50 years ago, people ate a diet which consisted of more naturally occurring fats and oils, such as butter, coconut oil, lard, olive oil, and tallow, fats from red meat and lamb. Fat consumption has not changed. What has changed is the type of fats people eat. Now, our diets are polluted with hydrogenated fats. These types of fats have been clearly linked to slowing our body's metabolic processes and have also been shown to cause heart disease and cancer. The reason these fats are particularly harmful to us is because polyunsaturated and hydrogenated oils have been subjected to damaging industrial processes, literally restructuring them, which has rendered them toxic. Their new, transmolecular structure has not, until recently, been incorporated into human physiology and is therefore unrecognizable to the human body. Since their introduction to our diets, just in the last century, these unhealthy oils have been linked to heart disease, cancer, and other degenerative diseases. The best examples of a polyunsaturated oil is corn, cottonseed, canola, vegetable, and any derivative of hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. Make no mistake, these toxic fats should be avoided at all costs. By avoiding sugar and hydrogenated fats, you will improve concentration and mental clarity, along with short-term memory, enhance your immune system, slow the aging process, reduce fat on the abdomen area, eliminate future junk food cravings. The way I see it, the real problem is the food industry, which thrives on the sales of sugar and fake, fat-containing foods. They have succeeded in brainwashing the public and suppressing the scientific findings that eating whole foods, which contain little to no sugar, and meats and oils, which contain naturally occurring saturated fats, do not contribute to heart disease, like they claim, and are, in fact, a healthy way to boost your metabolism, stabilize your cholesterol levels, improve your immune system, and provide energy and structural integrity to literally every living cell in your body. Therefore, to avoid these toxins, Here's all you do tomorrow: daily energy exercise, rid toxins from your life. Take about 10 minutes to check the food labels and ingredients panels on the foods in your cupboards, refrigerator, and on the counters in your kitchen. What to look for? Any foods that list sugar, dextrose, sucrose, fructose, corn syrup, or maltodextrin as the first, second, or third ingredient. These are typically things like soda, breakfast cereals, and white flour products like bread. Any foods that list hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated, or corn, palm, or cottonseed oils. These are typically things like processed, frozen, and nearly all deep-fried foods, and even some nutrition bars and most meal replacements, protein drinks. Not eat smart, however. Make a special trip to the grocery store to pick up items to replace these harmful toxic foods. Instead of soda, use water, preferably sugar-free Crystal Light, iced tea, or on occasion even diet soda. Instead of breakfast cereals, use whole oats or grits. Instead of white flour products, use whole wheat or soy flour type products. Simply instruct yourself that you will not eat deep-fried foods any longer, like French fries, chips, etc. Deep-fried foods and the oils they're cooked in have no nutritional health benefits whatsoever. Replace your salad dressings and cooking oils with healthy oils like flaxseed oil, olive oil, sesame oil, and walnut oil. Read your labels carefully. Manufacturers are tricky about trying to hide these harmful ingredients. Now you know why. At only 33 years old, Stephen Adele has been helping individuals from all walks of life create measurable results in their physiques and performance over the last 15 years and has rapidly become a respected authority. He has published numerous articles for magazines around the world, been quoted in several trade publications, appeared on radio shows, conducted seminars around the globe, and is the CEO of the prestigious supplement manufacturer, Isatori Technologies. Stephen now also shares his insights, expertise, and inside connections in two of the fastest-growing publications in the industry, Real Solutions email newsletter and Real Solutions magazine, and has recently co-authored the Consumer's Guide 7 Never-Before-Told Secrets Everyone Should Know Before Buying Supplements, the 21-Day Ultimate Energy Plan, the Lean System Success Plan, and Maximum Growth, Volume 2. Over the years, Stephen's philosophy has remained unchanged: the greatest gift you can give yourself is the gift of a strong mind, which can yield extraordinary dividends in the form of a stronger, healthy. Article source: http://ezinarticles.com/169672